So a classic example is called data dumping. It's very common for people who present in a presentation, especially requires you to deliver data or information. It's not just numbers or charts. But data dumping is a common mistake that a lot of professionals would do, amateur professionals, I should add. Okay? Let's take a look at what that means. I use data as an example because it's easier to understand. So let's take a look at this chart. Okay, so you will have this chart on the screen, and then you would tell the person that, okay, so this is the marketing campaign history, and the number is by millions of euros. Okay, so you'll see brand A, brand B, and brand C. And in those areas, London, Paris, Rome, and Madrid, and Vienna, and Berlin. Okay, so let's take a look at these numbers. So immediately, as an audience, what's your reaction? You'd be like, I have no idea what you're trying to tell me. Okay, so Ross, can you tell me more? Because I really don't get what you're trying to show us right now. So you'll look at these numbers in red, and you'll be like, hey, those numbers seem pretty important, but why? I don't know, I can't really tell. Why are they important? Okay, what about the next thing? The title doesn't really tell us a point of the slides. So marketing campaign history, yeah, that's the marketing campaign history, that's good. So, okay, that's called data dumping. You dump information that is not relevant, that has no meaning to your audience. So, what would happen if you do this? This is what would happen. With so much data, we have no idea how to interpret the information. So oftentimes, as the audience, you would usually just space out. You would just start taking out your phone and then checking in your emails or talking to your colleague and to see what's going on back in the office. And you would not pay attention to this presentation because you don't know how to interpret the information. The most common thing that people do as an audience, they would just find their own things to do because they don't know what the speaker is trying to tell them. Because you disengage your audience by providing irrelevant information. That is why I keep using the word relevant. Everything that we talk about, especially to a group of people, the information has to be relevant to the receiver. If you lose this relevant information connection with the receiver, chances are they will not listen. Okay? Even they might appear to be listening to you. You already lost them because the information has no meaning to the audience. All right. So what's the better way to do this? Just show them a chart. That's easy to do because people can look at the chart and figure out what's going on. But most importantly, what about the title? What about the title? By changing of the title, the audience does not need to read the chart anymore because I know what's going on. So I say, oh, wow, brand A dominates the European market. That's all I'm looking at. Brand A dominates European market in different cities. I don't need to read the charts anymore. I just know that's what's happening with the statistics that you collected. Brand A is performing really well. Okay, and then you can talk about how to analyze it. Why are they performing really well? Okay, and so what kind of marketing is used in those regions, in those areas with those three brands? Okay, so that's what we do in presentation. We do not want to do data dumping, and data dumping does not have to be just with charts or numbers. Okay, data dumping could be you give a lot of information, but that has no direct meanings to the audience. So the thing is that you have to simplify the data and provide what's the meaning behind the data. Okay? Concise, easy to understand. don't waste time, because in a presentation, the time is very valuable. You want to deliver the most essential information in this short period of time. No data dumping. Classic examples. Data dumping is not accurate communication. You want your communication to be accurate. Right title, right illustration. That's accuracy. That's precision. Okay? So the effect of inaccurate communication. So let's say if you fail the job to be accurate and precise and concise, that's also a key. You lose your audience. Your audience will be disengaged. And you will have unmet needs and expectations. Because if you have a task that you need to do, and you fail to communicate with efficiency, your audience doesn't know, or your team, if you're the team leader, they don't know what you want them to do. Then you will have unmet needs. Needs that are not done. Expectations that cannot be reached. Okay? So what would happen? You will have dissatisfied clients or colleagues say that if you have unmet needs or expectations, your clients would be very angry, or your bosses or your colleague, your team members would be, why didn't you tell me before? Why didn't you tell me clearly what you need me to do? Why didn't you finish this task? It all happens because of inaccurate communication. All right, and what would happen? Ultimately, you will lose the credibility and trust. So communication accuracy is very, very important for everyone's career. So this class is actually very important. In the presentation, you want to be able to deliver a very precise, clear message. So everyone sitting in the audience would understand what you are trying to tell them. And you don't want to destroy your career, right? So just don't do what we just described, inaccurate communication. Okay, so if, let's say, you possess the skill, all these things would not happen in the presentation. You would have engaged audience. You would have needs and expectations met. Okay, you would have satisfied customers and colleagues. They would trust you. You would have the credibility. Your career would be bright. Would you want to master communication precision? I think the answer is yes, right?